there's something that I get out of skiing. It makes me who I am. I have a lot of opportunity and I'm really grateful for that, but I look around and I am one of very few still.
You don't have to just be a professional athlete to understand a woman that is putting off having children for her career.
The winner is Elyse.
This timing is really ripe right now for women to be embraced. I don't know if we can call each other different generations, but I think we are, because I'm a Gen Xer, right?
Yeah, you are.
So
I'm a millennial.
You're a millennial. I know, you guys get such a bad rap.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't agree with the bad rap. What I really appreciate, what you bring to the table is you're so passionate about the skiing, and there are quite a few of you young women coming up and doing that, and that's awesome. But we also live in a world of social media where it's really easy to take what I see as the easy way out by selling yourself in a different way, and not so much about the performance of skiing, but more of what you look like and using that to get Instagram followers, etc. We see where I'm going with this.
Of course.
For me, I feel like I've already reached a point in my career where it's, I don't have to deal with that as much. How does that make you feel?
We are athletes on our contract. We are not influencers. And so that's the biggest thing to me, is it would be really heartbreaking if I worked for a company who was paying someone because of their Instagram followers and they weren't able to bring to the table what I can bring to the table on a pair of skis. And I don't feel like at this point I'm noticing that. So I'm like, if you want to go that route, that's your decision. Like, we all have this opportunity to create our brand. My personal decision was I'm an athlete and I want to be viewed as an athlete, and I don't want anyone to be confused of if I'm an athlete or an influencer. And so I just decided at the beginning there weren't going to be any bikini pics or anything that was not hard charging in what I wanted to show to the world. I've just made my decision and I'm going to continue on that path and like support everyone doing what they're doing, but like really be stoked on the women that are being athletes.
It's a tough road.
It is, because it's like, I want to be seen as an athlete, but I'm also a woman, you know, and like it's fun to honor those feminine sides, but you can't be too sexy because then people are going to have issues too. And I don't necessarily feel that way, but I've seen that backlash.
Yeah. I love putting on a good pair of heels myself.
I know you do. There's a lot of female athletes that are finding a way to be like this really badass version of themselves on the court or on their skis or whatever they do, and then also like be able to be feminine.
It's really just about feeling comfortable in your own skin, I think, is what true feminism is to me. But that's a whole other can of worms of conversation of what getting into feminism is. Right. But just find who you yourself are. It doesn't have to mean that we need to assimilate to being like men.
Right.
Even though I think we naturally sort of do that because we're trying to earn the respect of our peers, which are mostly men, but still trying to bring a feminine side to it that makes us who we are and what makes us different. I think that we're at a point where we really need to change those dynamics, and it's really important for us women to find our voices. And I know that's something that I've been working on quite a bit through my whole career and feel good about.
I definitely was enamored by your ability in Alaska to be a leader amongst men. That input's huge, and women save lives when they speak up in the mountains. There's all types of scenarios and statistics that point at that.
My point in this career, it's a lot of experience that has led me to being this way. There's been a few moments in my life, and one of them being the really obvious avalanche, the Stevens Pass avalanche that I was in. When that very first happened and I stepped away from it, it was really easy because it was a large group for all of us to look at it and be like, what did we do wrong as a group? But I really had to reflect on that, and I put myself like, okay, what was my personal part of this, not just as a group. Like, let's do some real self-reflection here. Skiing where we were, I was the out-of-towner. I was putting a lot of trust in the people that were making some of the decisions, and my mind wasn't there that day. And I'm so glad that I have had that epiphany of, wow, you turned your brain off, you relied on other people, and not only that, when you do that, you're not bringing anything to the table as a ski partner. And I think that any good, safe day in the mountain, everyone has to bring something to the table. And that doesn't matter what your experience level is.
In like having that experience in which you speak up and it's taken on by the group in a positive way. It's like, oh, wow, interesting. Yeah, I've been so consumed in this that I didn't even notice we actually have a train trap, that we're in a train trap and we're in a bad, you know?
Yeah,
like,
it totally can happen. Just because you're the inexperienced one, if it's not being said, doesn't mean that it was already thought about. I've really also realized when teaching these avalanche classes, a lot of the participants that come are new and getting into the mountains. And what's one of the most valuable things that they can take away from that clinic, I find, is everyone has a voice, right? It doesn't matter what your experience level is. Because if you have a voice and you're thinking about things and you're trying to communicate, then you're thinking, your brain is on. And it doesn't matter what you're doing in the mountains, there's a certain level of risk, right? So I think that learning to speak up helps just make you a part of the process, no matter what your experience is.
Back to all the discussion we've had today, like, I can speak up and I can say what I want and I can be perceived in a positive way, and just continuing to further my education so I feel comfortable speaking up and listening to my gut and choosing partners that are respectful of where my head lies.